The vast expanse of Eastern Europe saw the emergence of the East Slavs, a diverse group with roots tracing back to Indo-European origins. Around the 3rd to 8th centuries CE, they distinguished themselves as a distinct group. Their presence spread across the Dniester, Western Dvina, Oka, and Upper Volga rivers. These Slavic tribes laid the groundwork for a powerful kingdom. In 862 CE, the foundations of the Rus state were laid, with Varangians, Norse seafarers, at the helm. Prince Oleg of Novgorod, a figure of great ambition, rose to prominence. In 882, he orchestrated the unification of the northern and southern East Slavic lands. This pivotal moment marked the birth of Kievan Rus, a kingdom destined to leave an indelible mark on history. Kievan Rus flourished as a prosperous center of trade, connecting the Byzantine Empire in the south with the Baltic Sea in the north. The Dnieper River became a bustling artery of commerce, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas, and culture. Kievan rulers forged alliances, expanded their territories, and defended their realm against external threats. However, the seeds of division were also sown. Internal conflicts between rival princes weakened the kingdom from within. This internal strife made Kievan Rus vulnerable to external threats. These challenges set the stage for a new chapter in Russian history. The year 988 witnessed a momentous event that would shape the spiritual and cultural identity of Russia for centuries to come: the adoption of Orthodox Christianity. Prince Vladimir the Great, seeking to unify his realm and strengthen ties with the Byzantine Empire, embraced this new faith. The iconic mass baptism in the Dnieper River symbolized a profound transformation. Orthodox Christianity, with its rich liturgical traditions, intricate iconography, and emphasis on spiritual devotion, became deeply ingrained in Russian culture. The fusion of Byzantine and Slavic elements gave rise to a unique form of Orthodox Christianity, distinct in its character and expression. Monasteries emerged as centers of learning, art, and spiritual guidance, playing a vital role in preserving and transmitting knowledge. The adoption of Christianity had far-reaching consequences. It facilitated literacy through the Cyrillic alphabet, developed by Byzantine missionaries Cyril and Methodius. The influx of Byzantine art, architecture, and literature enriched Russian culture, leaving an enduring legacy. Churches and cathedrals adorned with magnificent frescoes and icons became symbols of faith and imperial power. This fusion of cultures created a unique blend of East and West, shaping Russian identity for centuries to come. The legacy of Christianization continues to resonate in modern Russia, where the Orthodox Church remains an influential force. The echoes of Byzantine chants and the splendor of ancient icons serve as reminders of this pivotal era. The once mighty Kievan Rus, weakened by internal strife and external pressures, faced its demise. The Mongol invasions of the 13th century shattered the kingdom's unity, leaving behind a fragmented realm. From these ashes, a new power center emerged in the northeast, Moscow. Strategically located at the crossroads of trade routes, Moscow gradually grew in influence. The princes of Moscow, skillfully navigating the complex web of Mongol overlordship and rivalries among Russian principalities, expanded their territory and consolidated their power. They secured religious authority by becoming protectors of the Orthodox Church, further solidifying their legitimacy. The rise of Moscow was not without its challenges. The princes of Moscow faced constant threats from neighboring powers, including the Golden Horde, the remnants of the Mongol Empire. Through cunning diplomacy, strategic alliances, and military prowess, they repelled invasions and asserted their dominance. Moscow's resilience in the face of adversity earned it the loyalty and support of the Russian people. By the late 15th century, Moscow had emerged as the preeminent power in the former Kievan lands. Ivan III, known as Ivan the Great, threw off the remnants of Mongol rule, declaring himself sovereign of all Rus. He laid the foundations for a centralized Russian state, paving the way for the emergence of the Tsardom of Russia. The year 1547 marked a watershed moment in Russian history. The coronation of Ivan IV, also known as Ivan the Terrible, as the first Tsar of Russia. This act symbolized the growing power and ambition of the Muscovite state. Ivan IV, a ruthless and enigmatic ruler, embarked on a series of reforms that centralized power and expanded the Tsar's authority. Under Ivan IV, Russia embarked on a period of territorial expansion, pushing eastward into Siberia and southward toward the Caspian Sea. The vast Siberian expanse, rich in resources, became incorporated into the Russian Empire. Ivan's reign was also marked by internal conflicts, including the brutal Oprichnina, a period of state terror and repression that aimed to consolidate Ivan's power, but left a lasting scar on Russian society. Following the time of troubles, a period of political instability and dynastic crisis, the Romanov dynasty ascended to the throne in 1613. The Romanovs would rule Russia for the next 3 centuries, overseeing a period of significant transformation and expansion. They continued the policy of territorial growth, pushing Russia's borders westward into Ukraine and the Baltic region, and southward toward the Black Sea. The 18th century witnessed the emergence of Russia as a major European power under the reigns of Peter the Great and Catherine the Great. Peter the Great, a visionary and ruthless modernizer, implemented sweeping reforms to westernize Russian society, administration, and the military. He established St. Petersburg as the new capital, a window to the west and a symbol of Russia's imperial ambitions. Catherine the Great, following in Peter's footsteps, continued his policies of modernization and expansion, securing Russia's place as a dominant force in European affairs. Section 5. Reform, Turmoil, and Revolution Russia in the 19th century. The 19th century proved to be a period of profound change and upheaval for Russia. The empire grappled with the need for modernization, while facing internal pressures for reform and growing social unrest. The reign of Alexander I began with promises of liberal reforms, but gradually shifted toward conservatism. His death in 1825 sparked the Decembrist Revolt, a short-lived uprising by a group of liberal army officers demanding a constitution and an end to serfdom. The brutal suppression of the Decembrist Revolt ushered in an era of reaction under Nicholas I. Determined to maintain autocratic rule, Nicholas I implemented strict censorship, strengthened the secret police, and pursued a policy of Russification, suppressing non-Russian cultures within the empire. However, the Crimean War, from 1853 to 1856, a humiliating defeat for Russia, exposed the limitations of Nicholas I's autocratic system and highlighted the urgent need for modernization. Alexander II, Nicholas I's successor, recognized the need for change. In 1861, he enacted the Emancipation Edict, abolishing serfdom, a pivotal event in Russian history. This reform, while a major step toward modernization, also created new challenges, as millions of former serfs struggled to adapt to their newfound freedom and economic hardship. Alexander II also implemented other reforms, including judicial and military reforms, but his assassination in 1881 by revolutionaries halted further progress. The late 19th century witnessed a resurgence of revolutionary activity, fueled by the government's failure to address widespread poverty, inequality, and political repression. Industrialization, while bringing economic growth, also created a new urban working class that faced harsh working conditions and low wages. The rise of socialist and Marxist ideas provided an ideological framework for discontent. Section 6. Red Dawn, the Bolshevik Revolution and the birth of the USSR. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 proved to be a catastrophic turning point for Russia. The war exacerbated existing social, economic, and political tensions, pushing the empire to the brink of collapse. Military defeats, food shortages, and economic hardship fueled widespread discontent with the Tsarist regime. In February 1917, a popular uprising in Petrograd, formerly St. Petersburg, forced the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, ending centuries of Romanov rule. A provisional government composed of liberal and moderate socialist leaders emerged to fill the power vacuum. However, it faced immense challenges, including continuing the war effort, addressing the demands of the peasantry for land redistribution, and maintaining order in a society on the verge of revolution. The Bolsheviks, a radical socialist party led by Vladimir Lenin, seized the opportunity presented by the chaos. In October 1917, or November according to the Gregorian calendar, the Bolsheviks, with the support of workers and soldiers soviets or councils, launched a coup d'état, overthrowing the provisional government and seizing power. The Bolshevik Revolution, a pivotal event in world history, marked the beginning of the first communist state. The Bolsheviks, after consolidating their power through a brutal civil war from 1917 to 1922, established the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or USSR, in 1922. This new state, based on Marxist-Leninist ideology, aimed to create a classless society and spread communist revolution worldwide. The Soviet Union, encompassing a vast territory spanning Eastern Europe and Central Asia, emerged as a major power on the global stage. Section 7. The Iron Grip Stalinism and World War II. Following Lenin's death in 1924, Joseph Stalin emerged as the paramount leader of the Soviet Union. Stalin, a ruthless and cunning dictator, consolidated his power through a series of purges, eliminating rivals and consolidating his control over the Communist Party and the state apparatus. His reign, marked by terror, repression, and forced collectivization, left an indelible mark on Soviet society and the course of the 20th century. Stalin's ambitious program of forced industrialization and collectivization of agriculture aimed to transform the Soviet Union into a modern industrial and military power. However, these policies came at a tremendous human cost. Millions died from famine, executions, and harsh conditions in labor camps. The collectivization of agriculture in particular led to widespread resistance, disruption of traditional farming practices, and a decline in agricultural output. In 1939, the Soviet Union signed a non-aggression pact with Nazi Germany, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. However, this pact proved to be short-lived. In June 1941, Nazi Germany launched a surprise attack on the Soviet Union, breaking the pact and plunging the country into the horrors of World War II. The Soviet Union, caught off guard but determined to resist, endured unimaginable suffering and sacrifice during the war. The Eastern Front became a battleground of unprecedented brutality, with millions of soldiers and civilians perishing. However, the Soviet people, displaying extraordinary resilience and courage, ultimately prevailed, playing a decisive role in the defeat of Nazi Germany in 1945. Section 8. From Thaw to Collapse. The Latter Days of the Soviet Union. The post-war period witnessed the Soviet Union emerge as a global superpower, locked in a geopolitical and ideological struggle with the United States and its allies, the Cold War. Stalin's death in 1953 ushered in a period of de-Stalinization under Nikita Khrushchev. Khrushchev denounced Stalin's crimes, relaxed some of the harshest aspects of Stalinist repression, and initiated some economic reforms. However, he maintained the Communist Party's monopoly on power and suppressed dissent. The late 1960s and 1970s saw a period of stagnation under Leonid Brezhnev. The Soviet economy, burdened by a centralized planning system and a focus on heavy industry, struggled to keep pace with the West. Despite some successes in space exploration and military technology, the Soviet Union faced growing economic problems, technological stagnation, and a decline in living standards. Mikhail Gorbachev's rise to power in 1985 marked a turning point. He initiated a series of reforms, perestroika, or economic restructuring, and glasnost, or openness, aimed at revitalizing the Soviet system. However, these reforms, while well-intentioned, unleashed forces that Gorbachev could not control. Increased freedom of expression, led to a resurgence of nationalism and ethnic tensions within the Soviet republics. Economic reforms proved difficult to implement and led to shortages and inflation. In 1991, a group of hardline communists attempted a coup d'état to oust Gorbachev and reverse his reforms. The coup failed, but it fatally weakened the Soviet state. On December 25, 1991, Gorbachev resigned, and the Soviet Union formally dissolved, ending over 7 decades of communist rule. Section 9. A New Russia, from Yeltsin to Putin and beyond. The collapse of the Soviet Union ushered in a period of profound transformation for Russia. Boris Yeltsin, the former Communist Party boss of Moscow, emerged as the first president of the newly independent Russian Federation. He embarked on a program of rapid economic and political reforms, aiming to create a democratic, market-oriented society. The transition from a centrally planned economy to a market economy proved to be a painful and chaotic process. Hyperinflation, economic instability, and widespread corruption plagued the 1990s. Oligarchs, a small group of wealthy businessmen, amassed vast fortunes through their connections to the government, while many ordinary Russians struggled to make ends meet. Vladimir Putin's rise to power in 2000 marked a turning point. Putin, a former KGB officer, promised to restore order and stability to Russia. He consolidated his power, reasserted central control, and cracked down on dissent. The economy recovered, fueled by high oil prices, and living standards improved for many Russians. However, Putin's rule has also been characterized by increasing authoritarianism, restrictions on freedom of speech and assembly, and a more assertive foreign policy. The annexation of Crimea from Ukraine in 2014 and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine have led to international condemnation and sanctions. Russia's relations with the West have deteriorated to their lowest point since the Cold War. As Russia navigates the complexities of the 21st century, its history continues to shape its present and future. The legacy of empire, revolution, and the Soviet experiment continues to resonate, influencing Russia's domestic politics, foreign policy, and national identity. The search for a balance between authoritarianism and democracy, economic development and social justice, and national interests and international cooperation remains an ongoing challenge.